Perfect. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the current WordPress editor. So if we go to a regular WordPress editor page, it's a great tool for writing and formatting text. It's great for adding images and a lot more. But when it comes to creating complex page layouts, we need a bit more than what the editor can offer. So, and this makes perfect sense. The WordPress editor is for writing, right? So if we want more, we can do things like add shortcodes to include custom post meta fields, or add columns, or generate forms, or just about anything else. But again, these aren't really user-friendly. They're not as user-friendly as some sort of visual editor. So certain themes also come with a diverse set of page templates like we see here. I'm using the Beaver Builder theme, actually, and it has a couple of page templates here. Some themes come with just a whole laundry list of them, but they're not always guaranteed, and these layouts still ultimately have to use the WordPress editor. So we can contrast this with something like Squarespace, which has a lot of freedom to move elements all around the page, add a diverse set of content types, and have fine-grained control over the layouts. And the trade-off with Squarespace is that we're relegated to using Squarespace themes and resources. We can't self-host a Squarespace site. We can't add new features to a Squarespace site. So what we really need is a hybrid of these two products, something that gives us the overall freedom of WordPress with the advanced page layout editing of Squarespace. And WordPress is trying to do this with the customizer, I should say, to an extent, but it's not quite there yet. There are themes that make great use of the customizer, but for something more on a page level, this is where Beaver Builder comes in. So if you don't know what Beaver Builder is a powerful, flexible WordPress plugin that allows you to easily create complex web pages through the use of a drag and drop interface. It's what's normally referred to as a page builder. And more generally, a page builder is a tool that lets you add, style, and control more than just the basic copy of a website. So you can do things like add an image slider. You can create a section that uses the parallax effect that has an image and then text moving kind of above it in an opposite direction. You can create calls to action, and you can create a lot more. So there are lots of page builder plugins and themes out there, but in my opinion, and the reason that I'm really happy that we've partnered with Beaver Builder, is I think Beaver Builder is the best. So let's take a look at some of the things that they have to offer, right? And this is all on their website, beaverbuilder.com. So the first thing that we'll see, the first big feature that they offer is live front-end editing. So with Beaver Builder, you no longer have to edit in the dashboard and then have to visit the front end of your website to see how it looks. It has real-time editing, which means that you can see the changes as you make them, right? So it's very literally what you see is what you get. It has wide range support, and what that means is that you can use the Beaver Builder specific theme, the one that we're using today, but it supports almost any theme, right? So if you are a big fan of 2010 or 2016 or 2015 or other ones that are not made by the WordPress Foundation, Beaver Builder will support almost all of them, okay? This gives you a lot of freedom, right? On top of that, Beaver Builder also supports and plays really nicely with WooCommerce. You can easily add short codes or even sidebar widgets anywhere on the page. So this is one of my favorite features about Beaver Builder, actually, is that if you have a widget, you're no longer relegated to just using that widget in sidebar or widget areas. Beaver Builder allows you to take this widget and put it on any page you want using their page builder. And the other thing that I want to call out, the last thing I want to call out as far as features go, is reusable templates. So they offer a lot of pre-made pages, as we'll see, but they also have this excellent feature that's kind of built on the mantra, build once, use everywhere. I'm a software developer. I try to live by those words. So if you find yourself using a common layout, like a pricing table or something like that in multiple places, you can make a Beaver Builder template for it, and then you don't have to worry about doing more work than you already have to. So if you actually go to wpin1month.com, you'll see that the page, the pricing table is on the home page, and it's on the Learn More page, and I only manage that in one spot thanks to Beaver Builder templates. So there's a whole lot more. That's what the next 40 or so minutes is going to show us. You'll see in the demo that Beaver Builder has lots of goodies built in that let you easily add all sorts of content to your website. So how do we get Beaver Builder? I know that's the burning question on a lot of your minds. Well, if we go to pricing, you'll see that Beaver Builder is a premium paid plugin that's offered at 3 prices. Try saying that 3 times fast. Premium paid plugin. So the first tier is standard, the second tier is pro, and the third tier is agency. So standard's $99, pro is $199, and agency is $399. And at each of these tiers, you get unlimited sites, you get the Page Builder plugin, you get excellent support for a year, you get the premium modules and layouts, which we'll talk about in a second, and then the things that are missing from the standard tier, the Beaver Builder theme and multi-site capability, come in the pro tier. So in the pro tier, you get everything we just named, plus the Beaver Builder theme and multi-site capability. And finally, with the agency tier, you get all of the above, plus the ability to white label. So if you work for an agency and you want to offer this as a value-added service or feature for your clients, you can get the agency package and white label it and package it along with the websites that you develop. So now, they offer each package the premium modules and layouts. Beaver Builder is also a free plugin in the WordPress repository. So it's Beaver Builder Lite, essentially. So if you want to give it a spin, head over to the plugin directory or to the plugins area of your WordPress install, search Beaver Builder, install it, and give it a try. Okay, so we will be using a website I have created called demo.wpin1month.com. I'm very, very creative here. I have already logged in. I have set up the Beaver Builder theme with a few customizations here using their use of the customizer. So we're not going to walk through that today. We're going to focus completely on the plugin today. So I'll head over to the admin here. And while I'm installing the plugin, which we'll do through clicking plugins in our WordPress admin and then clicking upload plugin, I want to mention a few terms that I'll be using throughout the rest of the webinar, just to get some definitions down. So the first one, and something I've mentioned quite a bit, is modules. Modules are different pieces of content that you can drop into a page. So for example, the photo module allows you to add a picture, while more advanced modules like the post slider allows you to create a carousel of posts based on a specific set of options or settings. This is actually, you can actually see this in action over at the wpin1month.com blog. I'm using their a version of their post module to generate the blog pages because it gave me some extra control over the layout. So I didn't have to build a template myself to get all the styles I wanted. I could just use Beaver Builder's posts module to do that, which is excellent. So the next definition I want to give is templates. Templates are pre-configured page layouts that allow you to create pages quickly and easily. So we're going to see this. We're actually going to use the page templates for 2 out of 3 of the pages we create today. But as we'll see soon, there are lots of layouts for landing pages, about pages, contact pages, and more. So these are going to give us a running start in creating the pages that we want to create. Again, templates are also pieces of saved content that we can create and then save to use throughout the site. Rows. A row is a horizontal section of content, and I'm calling this out because Beaver Builder actually gives you the ability to change the look and feel of not just modules, but entire sections, which is fantastic. So if you want to have If you want a section that has a different background color or a different font color or both, or a completely different font or a background image, that's great. You can customize the module, but you can also customize the entire row. So you can set styles for an entire row. And then finally, columns are vertical sections of content. Beaver Builder allows you to have responsive multi-column layouts on a per row basis, which again is great and highly flexible. So if you want one row to have 4 columns and another row to have 2 columns, that's no problem. Beaver Builder has you covered. So I'm going to take a quick break and see if there's any questions, either in the Q&A or the chat. And it looks like I'm not seeing anything, which is good or not good. Okay, great. So not seeing anything yet, but feel free to post anything as stuff comes up. So I have uploaded the plugin. I'll go ahead and activate or enable it. And then once the Beaver Builder plugin is activated, we can head over to Settings, Page Builder. And under Page Builder, we'll see a whole lot of settings here. So you have their welcome screen. You have the license information. The license information you're going to want to put in so that you can get you can confirm your site for support, as well as get updates right from the WordPress dashboard. So I'm not going to put in my license key right now, but I will handle that later. But this is where you would do that. The next section is the module section. So you can see a list of all of the modules that Beaver Builder offers. It's a lot here. And if you decide, I don't really need an icon group or a post carousel or a pricing table or something like that, you can uncheck them so they don't show up in the master list. I'm going to keep all of them enabled because I think they're all very useful, and I want to give you guys the full experience. So the same thing goes for templates. You can enable certain types of templates here. You can enable the core templates. You can enable user templates that have been added, or you can disable all templates here. The next option is post types. All right, so if you have a very custom website and you have a lot of custom post types like portfolio or events over on WP in 1 month, I have an events custom post type. You can choose which posts you want, or which post types you want Beaver Builder to show up for. So notice here I have it only enabled for pages. If I want to turn it on for posts, I can do that. Or if I want to keep posts using the regular editor, I can do that too. And this list will expand as you add more post types. So it's very flexible in that regard. Under icons, Beaver Builder has several different modules that make use of icons, and you can actually choose which ones that you want here. You can use Font Awesome, Foundation, and WordPress Dash icons by default. You can also upload your own icon set to be included. So if you're a big fan of Font Awesome, but you're not a big fan of the WordPress Dash icons, you can uncheck that and then save those changes. So those are the basic settings for Beaver Builder. There are 2 that I want to point out from this area that are a bit advanced, but I think that they're worth noting. So editing. You can set the capability required for users to access advanced building editing, such as adding, deleting, and moving modules. So what that means is that if you have a big site with a bunch of different users and each of those users had different capabilities, you can change which user group essentially has the ability to access editing and global template editing for Beaver Builder. So if you have authors, but you don't want them using Beaver Builder, and you have editors and you want them to use Beaver Builder, you can create a new capability and add it here. So again, this is more advanced, but I think it's worth noting, especially if you're using Beaver Builder on a very big site where lots of people have access to it, and you don't necessarily want them to be able to modify or create Beaver Builder pages. And then the last option I want to mention here is cache. So One of the features I like best about Beaver Builder is that when you create new pages or sections, or you change the styles, nothing is added inline unless it absolutely has to be. So there are a few exceptions to that. For example, parallax, you need some inline styles to change the position, things like that. But as long as it doesn't have to be added inline, it's not, which is great. Beaver Builder actually writes everything to a style sheet and then includes that on the front end. And Beaver Builder also caches that style sheet and any required JavaScript to improve performance on the site. So if you notice that your changes aren't taking or something's amiss, you can head over to Settings Beaver Builder, click on Cache, and then clear the cache to see if that resolves any of the issues. So again, Beaver Builder has great support for themes. I am going to be using the Beaver Builder theme today. So it's very customizable. Even the areas that you can't edit with Beaver Builder, you can customize or edit with the Beaver Builder theme. So strongly recommend it. I'm a big fan of it, and it's, again, just like the plugin, it's very flexible. It's robust in its customizer settings. So and actually that brings me to I guess the big question, right? The next big question. What exactly can you edit with Beaver Builder? So if we go to the front end site here, I'm looking at a post that was created automatically on my hosting site. And what you're seeing here is we're seeing the heading, we're seeing the body copy, and then we're seeing the post footer and the comments. So Beaver Builder basically replaces whatever you can change with the WordPress editor. So for example, if there is a set footer on posts with the category or maybe the author or the date, that stuff will not be edited. On the technical level, it replaces anything that is added with the template tag get content. So right here, everything I'm highlighting is the stuff that we would be able to edit with the Beaver Builder plugin. So that's what we're going to be doing today. All right, and before we actually get into the demo, I want to stop for any questions. If anybody has any questions about the settings I just went through or anything like that about Beaver Builder or even the Beaver Builder theme, please let me know now. Oh, all right, Ellen raised her hand. Ellen, if you could post something in the chat or the Q&A section, I'd be happy to answer it for you. In the meantime, I will head over to the backend area. So there's how do we get the Beaver Builder theme? That's a great question. The Beaver Builder theme. So when you're getting any of these plugins, actually, the Beaver Builder theme comes with the pro and agency accounts. So what happens when you're ready to sign up? I am signed in here, so I can log out and kind of walk through that process a little bit. But if you want to, let's say you want to get the pro account with the Beaver Builder theme, you go to the pricing page, and then you can click Get It Now and click Get Started, and then this will take you through the account process where you will pay for the account and then go through all the billing details and continue to payment. So and then everything will be accessible from your account page. Gotcha. Okay. Yes. So everything will be downloadable from the account page. All right. So admin is asking, Joe, I have no experience with website creation at all, and I wanted to know what is a good resource for a newbie like me? Admin, that's a great question and a great name, by the way. Are you just like in charge whenever you walk into a room? That's a great question. I would recommend if you are just getting started and you want to kind of familiarize yourself with just creating a website from scratch, WordPress.com might be a good place to start because it's free and it kind of gets you familiar with how WordPress works. As far as developing websites, I strongly recommend two resources. Code Academy, it's HTML and CSS and JavaScript classes. And I recommend the book HTML and CSS by John Duckett. That's the book that I use in my classes when I teach an HTML and CSS class. And it's fantastic. It breaks down everything for you. The resources are amazing. Oh man, and Ken and Deborah are posting a lot of great resources. So lynda.com is another one, wordpress.com, and how could I forget WP101.com? My good friend Sean Hesketh runs WP101.com, and the videos and resources are great, and they are always up to date. They just updated WordPress 4.5 came out last night, and today their videos are updated. So absolutely great resource. WP Beginner is a great one too, WPBeginner.com. Is there a way to see everyone's chat? Oh man, I assumed everybody was seeing everyone's chat. Oh, so okay, yes. So select the everyone button. And what I will do is I will take these links and any links that I mention, and I will include them with the video and the script when I send it out to the attendees and to the newsletter. So I know I just went through a bunch of stuff there, but I will make sure to include this in a list. But the big ones that I recommend, that were recommended in the chat, WP101.com, WordPress.com, and WP Beginner are great. Lynda.com is great, and then the book HTML and CSS by John Duckett is great. So that's a great question. Everybody's great. All right. So I don't see any other questions. So let's move on to the demo. Without further ado, let's get to the demo. So we will close this out. We will start here. What I'm going to do is I've already created a home page so that we see it. It's very blank right now. If I refresh this page, it just says home page and woo. So I'm going to edit this home page, and then I'm going to create an about page and a contact page. And since I love Star Wars, I'm probably going to reference Star Wars a lot in this content. I hope you guys are okay with that. So let's get started. I'll start from the back end here. I'll start from the dashboard. So we're kind of starting from the beginning. And I will head over to Pages. And I will click on Home Page, which I have already set as my front page. Once we go to the home page, you will see that once the Beaver Builder plugin is enabled, we now have two tabs here. We have the Text Editor tab, and we have the Page Builder tab. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Page Builder tab. And then Beaver Builder will go ahead, it'll launch. You'll see that the interface completely changes. We're no longer in something that looks like the editor. We're actually in something that looks like our website, right? And you're seeing, and I'm kind of seeing, I have a bunch of windows up on the side over here. So I will resize this a little bit so I can see everything. All right. So you'll see that we have our website area, and then we have a right sidebar that has all of our row layouts, all of our basic modules, and our advanced modules. So because this page was already created, I'm not prompted to, say, create a template or anything like that. So if we look up in the right-hand corner, we'll see Done, Tools, and Templates. I'm going to click Templates, and this modal pops up, and it has all sorts of pre-made templates that Beaver Builder has created for us. So we have three categories here. We have home pages, we have content pages, and we have your templates. I haven't created any templates yet. So because this is a home page, let's go ahead and choose a home page layout. I'm going to pick Minim, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And I'm going to choose to replace the existing layout. So I don't have anything on this page right now, but in case I had created something, Beaver Builder is just making sure that I don't want to accidentally replace that. So I can replace the existing layout, or I can append it, or I can append the new layout to what's already there. So let's replace the existing layout. I'm really, really sure I want to do this. And now you'll see the page gets populated with a whole bunch of information here. So we have rows, we have different modules here, and then we have a whole different section. So I chose this layout specifically because it shows the two types of row layouts that we can have. You can see that this row extends the full width of the page, and this row does not. So let's make the first thing we do look at why that is. So if I hover over a row, you'll see that the row turns blue. When I hover over a module, the module turns blue and the row turns gray. And this is great just to show where we are to make sure we're editing the thing that we want to edit. So I'm going to hover over the entire row, and I'm going to click the row settings button. It's a little wrench in the dark blue tools bar on the left-hand side. All right, so we can see here that we have several row settings, including width, full width of the row, which I want to be full width, and then the content width of the row, which I want to be fixed. So fixed is, I believe, by default 960 pixels. That's something that we can actually change in the settings area. So, our row is full width, and then our content width is fixed, which is great. If at any time you're working through Beaver Builder here, you can mouse over any of these question marks to see exactly what it does. So they have very succinct descriptions of what each thing does. Full width rows span the width of the page from edge to edge. Fixed width rows are no wider than the row max width set in the global settings. So that's what we have here. For this row, you'll see that we have a width that is both fixed, So the entire width of the row is fixed, and by default, the content width is also fixed. So the first thing you'll notice, well, the second thing you'll notice, I guess, since we've already gone over the first thing, is the minim preview had a background, but we don't have a background here. So why don't we add one of them? Again, I will go to row settings for this. I want to set a background for the entire row. And you'll notice this with just about all of the module or row settings. We have a diverse set of options here. We have colors, so this is text colors that we can use. So for example, if I change the text color from white to red, you'll see all of the text in the row has turned red. I'm going to go ahead and keep it at white since we'll be adding a background here. And I should also say that I haven't created layouts previously to this. For this site, I don't have any like canned content or anything like that. I thought it would be good for you guys to see kind of how one naturally uses the WordPress Beaver Builder instead of like going, all right, here's my folder, here's the content I'm going to fill in, here's that. So I'm going to walk through these. If at any point I'm going too fast or you want me to redo something, please let me know. So because of the way the template is generated, we already have the background type selected as photo. We just need to select the photo. The other options for background are none, color, video, slideshow, and parallax. So based on our settings, we will generate a different set of options. But for right now, we'll stick with photo. We'll select a photo. I don't have anything uploaded in the media library, so I'm going to select a file from my computer. Very dangerous going on your computer to upload something if you haven't really prepared for this. But I have. You'll see I noticed I put a folder on the desktop called everything. All right, so I'm going to pick a photo from one of my many trips to Disney World. I love Disney World. My brother works there, which is usually my excuse for going, but I mean, if he didn't work there, I would still go there a lot. So let's pick the Millennium Falcon monorail picture. All right, so this image is getting uploaded. I'm going to select the photo, and then momentarily, yes, you will see This was a landscape photo, of course it was. But you will see that the background gets populated automatically based on the photo I've uploaded. Okay, I can also choose to repeat or not repeat this background. I can choose the background position. Let's make it center and center so we get a good look at the Millennium Falcon there on the monorail. And then we can also choose if we wanted to fit or if we wanted to fill or just do nothing with it. So we'll make it fill so that we can see the whole thing. And we'll keep all of the other settings the same. So we have our image selected for our top content. And now I think this illustrates better the fact that our row is full width, but the content has a fixed width based on our global settings. So I'm going to save that. I should also note that nothing is saved automatically to the front end of your website until you click Done. So if I head over to the front end right now, even though I've added a whole bunch of layout stuff, you'll see it's still the same. This allows you to mess around as much as you want without worrying about changing the live site. So let's get down to business. Let's change this, even though I have that song from Mulan stuck in my head now. Why don't we change this to, well, it's a picture of the Millennium Falcon, so we'll do all right. Make the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs. So, so we've changed our heading. We can now change all of this information as well. We have a question from Deborah. Refresh my mind. Where do I find the global settings? Yes, that's a great question. So if we jump out of here real quick, I can head over to the Beaver Builder settings. And, ooh, man, that's a really good question, actually, because I didn't see it here before. Oh, you know what? It might be, and maybe if somebody has this answer off the top of their head. Tools. Oh, yeah, right. Of course it is. Sorry about that. Within a page editor, on the top bar, you'll see Add Content, Templates, and Tools. If we click Tools, we can choose Global Settings, and they'll be brought up. So here we have all of the settings that I was just referencing. Including a whole bunch of extra stuff. We can add different CSS selectors if we want to style the rows specifically, but the settings that we were mentioning was the max width. So by default, it's a max width of 1100 pixels. Again, that's for the fixed content layout. So again, that's under Tools. I'll click through that again. It's under Tools, Global Settings. Okay, so we have our heading. We can add a little teaser text here. And then we can also change the button. So one of probably the module I use the most actually is the button module. Just because I think it's great for calls to actions or just like calling out links in a different way. So we will change this, let's say, to join the rebellion. And then another great thing about the button module is that you can also add an icon if you'd like. So why don't we walk through that as well. If we are using the latest version of Font Awesome or one of the more recent, yes. So Font Awesome actually added the Star Wars Rebel and Empire icons. So this is perfect. I'll just choose that one. It's going to get added. I can choose if I want it before or after the text. And you'll see the button is changing in real time. This is excellent. So I will make it before the text, join the rebellion. We can also choose a link if we want to. I'll just leave it here for now. change the target, and the green, so we can also change the colors and the background color and things like that. So walking through these settings, if you click from General to Style, we can change the background color, hover color, text color, and text hover color. So we can change the background color. I will make it, I don't know what color really jumps out in my mind when I think about the Rebels. I guess orange, probably because of the X-Wing or the pilot suits. So we'll make it like a burnt orange. We will make the background hover color a little lighter than that. And then we will make the text color white. That should look okay. Great. And then the last thing that we'll do for the button is we will change the button from flat, a style of flat, to a style of gradient, and the Beaver Builder will automatically add the gradient for you based on the color you've chosen. So this is great. This looks good to me. I'll click Save. And then we can go ahead and now modify this area. I have a question from Ellen. I've had times where I clicked on the basic or advanced modules, everything is grayed out. Why? I'm not entirely sure about that. I'd imagine it's going to be specific to your page or layout, but I've never experienced that before. If somebody else on the webinar has, you can go ahead and answer it in the webinar chat, and I can read the answer aloud. But I'm sorry, Ellen, I've actually never seen that before. Okay, so we can go ahead again and modify all of these areas here. So we're here to help you succeed. Am I spelling that right? Nope, definitely not. There we go. We can change the headline, and again, we can change all of the colors and settings for this as well. So if I want this to be an H2, I can click on Style and choose H2. I can change the font from the font from the default font if I want, and a whole bunch of other great things here. Again, one of the best features about Beaver Builder is that it gives you fine-grained control over every aspect of the site. So I'm going to change this to an H2. I will keep everything else the way it was, and I'll click Save. Okay. So I will go ahead and change, in the interest of time, one of these boxes. So this is a callout setting. And this has a WYSIWYG editor, it has the styles, and then it has an image, which is what we're seeing up here, or an image type. So in image type, we can choose a photo, or we can choose the icon. So I will go ahead and choose the icon, and I will select the Empire, since we want to fight the Empire. Oh, and maybe the Empire's not there. Oh, there we are. All right, great. All right, and as you're seeing, I can choose to have the icon above the heading. I can change the color. I can change the size of it to make it bigger. Let's make it much bigger than that. All right, great. And then we can change the alignment to make it center, so that we have our icon, and then we can change this to fight the Empire. And we can go ahead and save that. So walking through the home page again quickly, we have our top area where we have a background image for the row, and then we have a heading, some text, and a button module. The middle area here is a fixed width row where we have a heading, and then we have three callouts, three callout modules. And then finally down here below the separator setting, or the separator module, we have a call to action module. So again, the call to action module is going to be similar to the call out module, but we have, it's a different layout. We have a little bit more flexibility here where we have the heading, we automatically have a button, and we can choose to style all of those things. So again, the power of the templates that Beaver Builder offers is that we kind of have a running start here. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and then we're going to create a page from scratch. So you can see kind of how the selection process goes. Once we click done, we're actually brought to the front end of our website now. So now this is what our brand new home page looks like. We're getting a couple of questions here. The first is from Christoph. I hope I pronounced that right. Hello, what kind of code is generated by Beaver Builder in the template? Is CSS inline or in a separate file? CSS and any JavaScript that gets added for any reason is added in a separate file. And then those files are actually cached. So when you make a change, a new file is generated and then added to the cache. And that helps improve performance. It's not mucking up the inline code or anything like that. DDAND is how I'm going to say that. How do you add a fourth column to the row? That's a great question. We will actually get to that when we create the About page. So from my admin bar up here, I will click New and Page, and then we're going to create a new page. So by default, we are brought to the WordPress editor. I'm going to call this About, and then I'm going to click Page Builder. Okay, so we're going to start with a blank layout here. And what we need to do now is as Beaver Builder is telling us, we need to drop a row layout or module to get started. So I'm going to drop a row layout. We'll start with a one column for right now, but you can see on the right-hand side here, when I click row layouts, we have several different column layouts here. So 1, 2, all the way up to 6, and then a couple of extra ones for left sidebar, right sidebar, left and right sidebar. I will choose a one column layout for now. And the first thing I will add is a heading. I'll just drop that in there. Oops. I'm not very good at typing. So I'll call this heading About the Scoundrels. Since it's the first heading on the page, I will make it an H1 under the Style section, and I will click Save. And now what I want to do is the first thing I want to do is I want to add some copy to the About page. So I will do that by using the text editor. So I will click that and I will drag that into my row or column area. And then I'm presented with the standard WordPress WYSIWYG editor. So to save some time, I will head over to my favorite Star Wars Ipsum site. Oops, Star Wars Ipsum is what I wanted. Fillerama, there we are. And I will just grab some filler text here. Okay, so you'll see that we've added the text and it automatically gets added. Now, in my opinion, I think there's a lot of space between the heading and the text, so we can reduce that by clicking in the advanced area under margins, and then I can change the top margin to 0, and that's going to reduce the amount of space we have here. This is also something that you can add in the global settings. You can change the amount of padding or margins that you have between modules. It's 20 by default. I generally like to keep it there because generally I like that amount of space, but this all depends on the design of your site and what you think is aesthetically pleasing. And again, Beaver Builder is so flexible that it can accommodate everybody. So I have added some text. I will click Save, and then I will add a photo module. So I will go ahead and choose photo. I will add it down here. And we've already been through this process, so I won't belabor the point, but I will choose a different version of the same image. I think this is the one I posted up on Instagram. So I will add this photo through the photo module. I can have it centered. I can choose a caption for it, and I can click Save. So this is really big, actually. Maybe I want to make this a little bit smaller. So I can click on the row again, and you'll see that after we've uploaded the photo, we'll have a list of all the sizes that were generated. So I will go ahead and choose medium 300 by 300. So this looks okay. I will click Save, and maybe I want to move this now, right? So I will go ahead and I can move this above the image if I want by clicking, and I know I did that really quick, so let me do that again. If I hover over this module, you'll see you have like a little move icon, a little multi-directional icon here. So if you click that, you can drag this content above or below anything as you see fit. So this looks a little bit better. Perhaps I want to right align it or add it next to this, which I can do in a different column layout. If I want to change the column layout, I would go to Add Content, Rows, and then choose the 2-column layout and add that here. And then I would drag this module into the right column and drag this module into the left column. So great, we just saw our site transform a little bit from a 1-column to a 2-column layout. The next thing I want to do before moving, because we're running out of time, is I want to show at least one of the advanced modules, right? So why don't we go ahead and look at an accordion advanced module. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick this module. I'm going to drag it underneath our content here. And then I'm going to be presented with an interface to fill in this accordion. So by default, one item is there. I will click Edit Item, and I will change the label. And then we can add, so this is going to be the label for the accordion item. We can add the content. We have a visual editor here, so if we want to add images and things like that, we can definitely do that. I'll click Save, and then I will add, I'll add 2 more items. Grab some more filler text. Nerd herders or something completely different. And again, grab some more filler text. All right, and so now you see our accordion is populated. We can go to the style section and customize the colors and things like that. I'll keep this all the same in the interest of time, but I would encourage you to go through, download Beaver Builder, play with all the settings. Clearly an hour is not enough time to get through all of this great stuff. And then we have a working accordion on the page. So if I save this and I click Done, I will click Publish Changes, and now we have a working accordion here on our About page. So, and you'll notice that the home page looks a lot nicer than the About page I've created. Creating a beautiful layout from scratch, absolutely doable. It takes a lot of time. The home page for WP in 1 month is a Beaver Builder page that was created from scratch. And I spent a good amount of time on it. But again, that's, I think, the power. I think that's the power of Beaver Builder's pre-made templates, is that their pre-made templates, again, give us a running start. So, and we'll see, we can create a contact page in just a few seconds. So I'll hit contact, I'll hit publish this time. It looks like David asked, how do you save without publishing, or is it one and the same? That's a great question. When you click done in the Beaver Builder area, it's going to publish it as well. So I have my contact page. I will click Page Builder. And I will now, before we chose home pages, so now I will choose content pages. And I will scroll down. Beaver Builder has a couple of contact pages for us. Business contact or personal contact. I will choose business contact. And this page is mostly generated for us. All we need to do is fill in some of the pertinent information, right? So this comes with the map module already added. We can add an address here. So I'm going to try to think of one off the top of my head that I like a lot. How about we'll do Yankee Stadium, Bronx, New York. Sorry for anybody who is not a baseball or a Yankee fan. So I have added Yankee Stadium, Bronx, New York. The map has updated, and I'll click Save. And then these are text modules. So I can change the information here to match the address. Actually, I can probably just copy this here. No, I guess I can't. So 1 East 161. And then we can add or remove or change this information however we want. And then finally, we have a contact form settings module. So this is a form that will automatically email you. You just need to change the email address for this one. So I will leave everything as is. I will click Save, and I will click Done and Publish Changes. And now, in just a 2 or 3 minutes, I have built a contact page. So we have our home page, we have our about page, and we have our contact page. The last thing I'll go ahead and do is I'll actually create a menu so we can navigate through these things. Home, about, and contact. I will click Save, and then I will visit the front end of the page again. And now we have our home page, we have our about page, and we have our contact page. Looking good. All right, so I know I just did a lot of things really quickly there. Are there any questions in the last few minutes of the webinar? Where would you see Edit the Beaver Builder theme in the dashboard? This has all been in Page Builder, correct? Yes, that is absolutely correct. Everything that we just did was in the Beaver Builder plugin Page Builder. If we want to make, again, this was not really focused on the Beaver Builder theme, but if we're using the Beaver Builder theme, they have an excellent customizer, and that's where all of the edits for this theme were made. So you saw I was talking when I did it, but I clicked Customize from the WP admin bar, and all of this, I went through all of these settings last night. I picked one of the preset themes. I removed the sidebar, and I added a couple of other things. I added some widgets to the bottom here. So everything that I did, I didn't code anything. I didn't touch a single piece of code for this website. I used the Beaver Builder theme, and I used the Beaver Builder page builder. Okay, Joe, will you be sending out links, resources, etc. mentioned today? Is this webinar going to be available for us to view again? Great question. Yes, I am going to. I am recording this right now, and I am going to go ahead and send out the video as well as the resources and links and anything I mentioned today, even the script. I will send out the script as well. So you guys will have all of that in your inboxes within the next couple of days. You're very welcome. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, so now you guys can look at my face. So, all right, I want to thank you guys all deeply for joining us in the first, the inaugural WP in 1 month free webinar presented and made possible by WP in 1 month partner Beaver Builder. So if you want to learn more about Beaver Builder, if I've convinced you, hopefully I have convinced you to go ahead and download it, you can head over to beaverbuilder.com. Again, all of this will be made available to you, and it will be on the YouTube page. So if you guys don't want to download the video, you can head over to WP in 1 month's user page, which YouTube page, which doesn't have a custom URL yet because I don't have 100 subscribers. So once I get 100 subscribers, I'll be able to change it to youtube.com/WP in 1 month. Thank you all for joining me. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. Or, I guess I should probably have a place where people can connect with each other. But in the meantime, send me an email and I'd be happy to answer them. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Thank you again.